Oh, we have the banter.
A
Okay.
little banter. By the way, I'll the pictures. You think it's the roof of that house that I was
Yeah.
just in? All right.
Yeah, I think that that's an easy, straightforward fix. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
my
I
last
agree.
text message, but I think the roofers just stacked all of the shingles in one spot. And if that's the center of the house, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
guessing the stairway probably is, it just all it did is
is.
push down. And so you created that crack, that gap in the sheetrock between the ceiling and the wall. Straightforward fix. Now painting, I don't know how the paint colors,
Match up.
blend in,
They're
but
pretty close. Yeah.
okay. So I mean, it may not be that hard for a competent, drywall company to affect that repair. But as I mentioned, we've seen roof structure trusses, rafters actually crack because there's so much weight
Oh.
that's centered,
Mm.
where they put everything up on that top
Yep.
ridge. So that maybe is just something to, poke their head up in the attic and take a look to make sure something hasn't been broken. Again, easy fix, but
That is a really good point. So we'll touch on that as our first question. On Chuck, we've got a couple of things. Well, we have more than a couple of things. Okay. I'm just pulling which ones we want to use out of this list of these. Oh. Okay, good. That actually ties into this first question with Brad.
Chuck, did you get new glasses?
I did.
Oh, look at you. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, yeah. And I'm wearing a shirt other than blue.
Hey, I'm wearing the same color as you. But this is kind of a weird collar.
Yeah?
It is. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's one of those short collars.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily.
I'm not fans of those.
No.
I'm not man enough to wear pink. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's why I'm sexy, and
Yeah,
sexy, and he knows it.
Yeah, it's weird. I never wear all black, but for whatever reason today I'm in all black. That's I don't do that one. I'm not hip and cool like Greg is. He can pull off the all black look.
Oh yeah,
It's not all black today. It's maroon.
Oh, is that maroon? Oh, okay.
Maroon. It's very dark in here. Well,
the light coming.
Yeah,
the light coming behind you. Okay.
Everybody watching the stock markets today?
Oh, geez. Remember, this is a Sunday show.
On?
Oh, we're recording.
Hi, Casey.
Oh, what up? Will you close these for me?
What's going on, Greg? I haven't seen anything.
Just more. I was, you just sit back and watch. I tried to get in on the suckers bet for AMC dropped, and I jumped in, and I've already doubled my investment. It jumped back up. It's just day trading and watching. I'm sitting here stuck to Twitter and Reddit, and I'm like, all right, I got to move some money here real quick and just dot, and then bounce it out. And
what was your position in silver there? Did you get into that?
No, that was fake. That was all fake. It was all, listen, there's some crazy things going on there. Literally, there was fake reports from MSM, from the mainstream media, that silver was going, and nobody was talking. Nobody in the threads that I was watching was talking about silver. They were actually talking about hey, look, watch. They're trying to get you to do this and manipulate you away.
But it went up a few bucks.
It did. Listen, there's some great manipulation. If you want to day trade right now, it's a good time because there's a lot of stuff going on if you're watching it. And then the Bitcoin market right now.
Yeah,
I've got a couple positions there where I made $1,500 in the past 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So
you'll lose $2,000 in the next 15. Yeah,
I'm not putting
right.
more in it. This has been a long play. I've had this in for a while, but just my cousin was like, "Hey, did you invest in this? Take a look at it." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's nice today." We'll see. I just told Bob, just hedge your bet. We don't know what's happening. Yeah, I'm gonna be on both. The idea with Bitcoin is the stock market will start to drop and Bitcoin will go up, and maybe we'll see.
Hey, buy high, sell low, right? Oh, wait, hold it. Did I get that backwards?
Everyone's saying hold the line now. Everyone
hold the line. Is that it? Okay.
The biggest. It's
hold
the biggest
the line.
Crop. It's hold the line while I get out. That's
right. Exactly.
All right. I got things ready on my end. Everybody set on your end?
Yep. Sir.
Okay. Brett, I sent you an email for next week. Which I think it's good. I mean,
it's the source of it is terrible.
Yes,
but
I get that.
But the information in it is very good. Yes.
Right. So it's about air duct cleaning, which we'll talk about next week. So
yeah.
All right, here we go, folks. Whoops. That's not going to work. 27 minutes. Okay, everybody ready? The sun constantly is playing with peeking through.
Yeah, when it's in those clouds, you got to have it controlled or let it roll wild.
Yeah, that's all you can do. All right, here we go. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you until the top of the hour. Hope you're having a good Sunday morning. With us today, Chuck Crosby of the Crosby Law Offices. Good guy, great closings, entertaining, and keeps the thing moving. You can pick whoever you want to close your loan, and Chuck is one of the guys. I would tell you he's the guy to pick. You can reach him at 499-6360. Also, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. They come in as a team. Brad, for the 6th year in a row, is the #1 home team inspection service in the country, and you can reach him and make note of his fairly new number, 844-411-TEAM. Brad, Chuck, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you all.
Also here, back by popular demand, my son, Greg.
I don't think I'm that popular.
Well, not in your mind, but in many minds it is. And Greg joins us as well as does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And you can reach me anytime at 376-5483. We've got a lot to go through, including a lot of questions, but we're going to start with an item that made the news, which I think is going to make Greg very happy. Millennials are changing the luxury real estate market, folks, in sharp contrast to the slacker stereotype that has defined Greg and his generation. Millennials aren't living in their parents' basements anymore. They are buying multi-million-dollar homes.
No, the Gen Xers are still living in the basements. We just we saw that. We're like, we're not dealing with that. We want out. We want out.
There you go. 38%.
We missed us.
38% of millennials, adults born from 81 to 96, represent the largest share of home buyers in the U.S., according to the survey by the National Association of Realtors just released. Chuck, so that means you should be seeing more millennials. And Brad, you should be seeing more millennials.
Absolutely.
That's an impressive number.
And, a lot of our inspectors are now millennials. So
oh, really?
I got both sides of it. Yeah.
It happens all the way around.
Sure does.
So moving on, because we're going to keep this moving and we got a lot of stuff to go through. Have you ever wanted to live in a high-rise building? And it looks like, for example, Brad, Chuck, Greg, I'm talking about not just an 8 or 9.
Like primary residence. Like this is your main place.
Yeah. So like in Chicago, New York. I grew up in an apartment building in the Bronx, and it was probably, I think it was like 10 or 12 floors high. Community called Parkchester. A lot of all these look the same.
Parkchester.
Parkchester.
That was almost too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about much taller ones. Did either of you guys or all of you want to ever live?
I would love to, but my wife has reminded me that I will be living there by myself.
Okay, Chuck, how about you? I know you're in a condo. Would you consider moving over to a high rise in a large city?
It's possible. There's a New York Times thing every week. Which would you choose? That Sherry and I will look at frequently. I mean, it's just that my impression of New York City is it's occupied New Jersey. It's a great place to visit, but you don't want to live there.
This is where you guys are missing the boat here in quotation marks. You got a high rise in like Florida, like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Sarasota, on the waters where it's nice and warm and you have that beach view. That's
Petula Clark lives in a high rise on South Beach. I would live there.
There you go.
So the reason I ask is that 432 Park is one of the wealthiest addresses in the world. It's in New York City. It is now facing significant design problems, and other luxury high rises may share its fate. It's 1,400 foot tall, in New York City, briefly the tallest residential building in the world. It was the pinnacle of New York's luxury condo boom a half decade ago. Now, 6 years later, residents of the exclusive tower are now at odds with developers and each other, making clear that even multi-million-dollar price tags do not guarantee problem-free living. Imagine paying $2, $3, $4, $10 million for your condo in the sky and then having to file a claim because of continual water damage from plumbing and mechanical issues, frequent elevator malfunctions, and walls that creak like the galley of a ship.
I mean, that's just New York. I don't know what these people, they know what's going on up there.
So let's move on. Questions. First one, I had text Brad earlier this week. I was at one of our pre-lists, and in the staircase coming down from the second floor, some severe cracking going up and down parts of the wall. And my potential client here had hired a guy to do some repairs, but he took the money and he ran, which is another story we want to talk about down the road here, Chuck, for you with regards to what, if you're going to have somebody make repairs or work on your home, what should you do in terms of protecting yourself against a goober taking your money and running? So put that in your head, Chuck, coming up in a minute. Brad, meanwhile, I sent him pictures, and both he and I believe the same thing. What happened in your mind of what, and folks, this is why we're pointing this out to you. If you have a new roof put on, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think what happened here, the house was built in 99. And I think what happened when they re-roofed, the roofers put all of the shingles up on the ridge in a condensed area. The stairwell is in the center of the home. That's a convenient spot for the roofer to put all of the materials. And the weight of that actually sagged the whole roof truss structure, which cracked the space between the sheetrock and the ceiling and the walls, and it left a big gap there once the weight was taken off of it. That's my guess on it anyway.
Without ever being there, right?
Yeah, without ever being there, because we see damaged roof trusses in homes, and oftentimes, those occur after, a roofer's come out, particularly a larger home, which has a lot of material. That's a tremendous amount of weight, and if the roofers aren't careful, they stack it all in one spot, because that's where the lift and where the guy is stacking everything, and they don't spread it out. It puts a lot of weight and it can break the trusses.
What do you suggest then for anybody who is about to have a roof? Because we got a lot of people in the listening area who may be planning on getting or having a new roof. If you see cracks in the drywall, but also how do you protect that maybe the roofer may have done some damage to something in the attic itself?
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime you're having roofing work done, I would definitely recommend they take some pictures before they get out there. Talk to the roofing, project manager, make sure that they understand how the materials will be delivered to the top of the house. And then I would definitely check after they have, before they've actually left the job site, just make sure there's no, damage up in the attic or the ceilings have cracked or some of the other things that we see. It's not real common, but it's not completely uncommon either.
Is it correct for me to presume that if they crack something in the attic, immediate evidence will show in the drywall with cracks coming through the drywall, like what happened in this particular house?
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be an immediate thing. Once the weight is lifted up, because when all the weight is compressed on it, the crack's going to be there. But when the weight is taken off and the wood flexes back up to where it started, that's when you're going to see the gap. So you're going to see it right away.
Telltale sign.
It won't be something that appears 2 months later.
So if you're having a new roof put in, and once they take the roofing material is distributed on the roof, the weight is lifted, folks, check around the house just to make sure you're not seeing any new cracks that are occurring, because that could be a sign that damage was done by the roofing contractor when they put the shingles up there. Now, let's go over to Chuck for a second with regards to this lady who gave the money to the contractor, and the contractor never came back. Any suggestions from an attorney standpoint what she or anybody else can do to protect themselves?
Don't give them the money up front.
And what if they ask for it and they say, that's how we work, we require it?
Then I'll be looking for another contractor. Thanks so much. if they're flying by the seat of their pants so much that they have to have 100% of the money up front, that's just a no-go.
Okay. And do you think giving them half of it is okay, or a third?
I believe, isn't the industry usual about a third, a quarter to a third?
I don't know. Greg, any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, deposits general, I would say there's an industry standard, but I mean, at the end of the day, like Chuck is saying, there's going to be red flags before that. If they're asking for full amount down before.
I know. That in and of itself is a deal breaker.
Yeah, did you check to see their old jobs? Did you check with previous clients to make sure they have a reputable reputation?
Do they have insurance in case they...
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do they have insurance in case they put all the weight on one part of the roof and damage it? I mean,
chances are those people don't, because they probably aren't remembering to get insurance, or that they need to distribute the weight correctly.
So check go ahead.
I was going to say, every time I've had that call where, hey, the contractor just took off with our money, invariably it's one of those scenarios where they want everything up front. Nobody did any background check. I mean, you're going to give somebody that kind of permission to get in your house and your stuff. Don't you want to know that other people are satisfied with the work?
Yeah. Don't let Tom's friend who's built the deck a couple times in his life, who has a truck, go to low, you don't do it, man, don't do it.
Oh, you know Tom, do you? All right, let's move on to questions. This comes from Cynthia, believe it or not, and it's on this topic. She says she's planning on selling her house this year, but she knows the roof has problems. It's leaked several times over the past few years. And if she patches the roof with some of the stuff that she saw advertised on TV, what is that stuff called? Because I think
talking about Flex Seal?
Flex Seal, yeah.
Don't say it. Say it.
They're carrying it in like a Home Depot and Lowe's now. The Flex.
Yeah, but it's not a shingle.
No, but she says if she patches it. I see it advertised. It blocks water. Can the buyer come back in a year or two? So let us start with the mechanical part of this. Can she use it to patch?
I mean, we saw the guy sprayed it on screen and made a boat out of it. I mean, I think that it can seal something up. Do you want it to? No. Do you want to use it on your roof? No. Do you want to use it in your gutters? I don't think it's a great idea, but people do it all the time. You know, as a home inspector, we see Flex Seal repairs very often, particularly if you've got a flat roof. You know, a lot of people will go up there because now you can buy it. It's not even in a spray can. It's in it's in the quart size, can, or the quart can, the gallon can, and you can just roll it on. And it's not a good idea. It does not last very long at all.
Does it work?
No, not. I mean, it'll work for keeping rain out for a few weeks maybe.
Okay, so wait.
It's not fixing it.
So wait. So I could see this commercial coming up down the road now. Brad, when I point to you in the video, because by the way, if you want to see this show, and we're doing this on Zoom because of COVID, and we record them, and then we can replay it back. LouisvilleAnswers.com. LouisvilleAnswers.com is the URL to get you to our YouTube channel. So when I point to you, say what you said at the very end, right? This is how these stupid commercials air, these stuff. Where you'll say it works for a few minutes at least, right? Okay, so
that's right, yeah.
And the commercial is going to come up now. Flex Seal, it works continually. Here's Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service.
It'll last for about 3 days.
Okay, then we'll cut that up. It'll last, and then we'll add. That's it, Brad Lawler. Even right. Brad says it lasts.
Will last, yeah.
Yeah, right.
When good isn't good enough.
Dr. Oz is a victim of all this stuff. He gets credited with all the stuff that's out there, and he says they take him out of context. Yeah. So all right, so don't use it now. From the legal standpoint on this, Chuck, this is really the disclosure. Do you have to
disclose it? Yeah, you have to.
You got a leak. Yeah.
And it's not like that's not going to come up the first big rain.
but can it say that it was Flex Seal that it was used, or what would you say?
If you've done self-repair on your roof, I would state that you did self-repair on the roof for a leak with this product. I mean, you have to disclose what happened, why, and anybody that would not investigate that further is crazy.
I mean, duct tape's probably better than Flex Seal.
I don't think so on that, but okay.
Not on a roof. The duct tape won't last 3 minutes.
Well,
I mean,
if
at least
some
Flex
Flex
Seal will
Seal,
get
then duct
3
tape
days.
on top of it, maybe another level of Flex
Another
Seal,
layer,
and then some
yeah.
duct tape, and then Flex Seal on top, and then it looks like a shingle.
Make sure that you use staples though too.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
Joking here, guys.
Moving on. Chuck, William is buying a home working with his friend who is a real estate agent. William says he called another agent because he wanted to see a home that he's going to soon buy, but William's friend is saying something about procuring cause. Don't call some other agent. Use me if you want to see the home. He went to see the house with another agent, and now William's friend, who's the agent, is claiming that William is not a friend at all.
Yeah, well, of course.
So
why would you do that?
Explain procuring cause. And Greg, we're going to come to you in a second to just put an exclamation mark on it. Explain why buyers should work with the agents that they want to work with and not call willy-nilly over the phone just to find an agent to get you in a house.
Because you're going to ruin friendships like that. If I call up an agent and he shows me the property, and I like the property and I buy the property, well, then he's earned his commission. Now, will he share that commission when all of a sudden I say, oh, by the way, I've got a friend that has been representing me that I'm going to tell you about now after we've already done this deal? You know, probably not, or maybe they could. I've seen circumstances where they do share, but that's just because, you know, professional courtesy and the like. But it's not required. So why would you do that?
No, and it's really just his friend's probably not the best agent. I'm just going to put that out there, because if he was a professional on top of his game, like I've got friends, they know we sell real estate. They're coming to me because they know we don't mess around. I don't treat you like my friend when you're my client. I treat you like my client and I represent you to the fullest. This guy and my friends know Greg's going to show me the house because he's the guy, and they're well schooled on what happens if you let another agent show the property and what happens when that happens.
But people just do that. I do see that quite a bit.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's a reason to work with a team where you've got coverage if your agent is out of town or working something else as another agent who's willing to.
Well, it's establishment, it's reputation. People say, oh, we don't want to bother you because you're a friend and we know you're busy. But if they know that this is your job and you do this 100% of the time, they know who to call when they need an answer, not some other guy, you know?
We're going to take
how many people actually give that talk at the very beginning?
We do, but I can't say anybody else, you know.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, 10 things you don't realize are annoying your neighbors, especially if you live in a condo. That's coming up.
Or have loud dogs.
If you have loud dogs. If you want to see what sellers are saying about us, go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. If you want to read our reviews, our Sokoler team reviews, go to LouisvilleZillow.com. With us here via Zoom for our COVID radio show, we have Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 844-411-TEAM. My son Greg, who does our marketing photography, who does a great job and so much more. And you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime on my cell phone at 376-5483. We are back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you till the top of the hour. We've got Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, with us. You can reach Brad and his team, and they're big group of people, 844-411-TEAM. Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. My son Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more, and Bob Sokoler here. You can reach me anytime to get your home on the market or reach our agents, 376-5483. And, of course, thank you, Barbara Corcoran, who's a friend and mentor and endorsing us. We appreciate that. All right. Somewhere in our lives, we've had a run-in, maybe not everybody, but a concern with a neighbor. Either a neighbor's doing something to you or you're doing something unbeknownst to your neighbor. So here are 10 things. Dogs, number one. And I have to apologize to my neighbors. I've got 2 German Shepherds that I got after we were broken into. I know they're annoying. I'm working with them, but I'm guilty. I raise my hand. I am guilty and I'm trying to curtail them. In fact, this past Wednesday, I had a trainer over working with the dogs again, as we're attempting to make sure that they and respect our neighbors as well as our own property. Anybody have dog problems like that?
Yeah.
No?
Had that in the
Okay.
past.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe.
Playing in the street. Kids may be entranced by their parents and grandparents' stories of stickball, stoop ball, kick the can, but this day and age.
We played street roller hockey when I grew up in cul-de-sacs.
Yeah.
What are we trying to tell me we can't have kids playing the streets anymore?
Not such a good thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna get grumpy old man on that.
Well, in your subdivision, don't they like have bronze statues of children having fun
we
don't want the real thing?
They literally have road blockers that we block the street for street fairs and all sorts of stuff. Kids play in the street. I'm an old man with a cane. If I see somebody driving over 15 miles an hour I'm yelling at them. What were you saying? Sorry.
Oh yeah, in our I'm on the board for our community, and we literally had a board member wanting to put up some sort of impenetrable border so children couldn't come in and play because they're up to no good.
See, this is my point exactly. I'm not off base on this story. How about holiday lights? I don't believe this, but does anybody believe that you can do too much harm by having too many lights during the holiday season?
Well, if you don't take it down early enough. I was driving through a neighborhood yesterday in Germantown, and it was like
still up.
The Christmas lights are all still up, all the way down the road.
Yeah.
Well, they've been busy.
It's annoying.
So something that really, and I know it doesn't occur to everybody, but there are areas of our community where there are farmyard animals and associated with chickens and some others, and those noises and smells that go along with those. And I know there are ordinances where you can have some and cannot have some, but be aware. Just know that is a concern. Too much of a good thing is, and there's one in every neighborhood, a little old man or woman who walks out to get the newspapers in their bathrobe, or an out-of-work sister who sunbathes without clothes, topless in the backyard.
Is it the Griswolds?
It could be.
That's what it sounds like.
It could be, but we have to be aware. When we're going outside, dress appropriately, according to this report. There is also one thing about exterior home yard and maintenance. I have dear friends whose next-door neighbors have windows. They've since, I believe, had them repaired. But the frame, the wood, that was a disaster. Where the wood, they had friends come up, and as you're pulling in the driveway, you couldn't help but notice. You couldn't help but notice that there was wood rot and deteriorating, and it gives a question of what's going on. So, trim your shrubs. My old neighborhood, we had a neighbor down the block who never trimmed the grass around the edge of his property, and it looked like it was always overgrowing. So, I got that. And here's one, and I know, Chuck, this doesn't occur to you, but maybe Brad, tree debris, the trees, shrubs, you make a pile, but you never clean that pile up. So it sits on your driveway or your yard, and it just is an eyesore.
Got one in my neighborhood.
Understood.
Yep.
This next one's going to ring true to a lot of people, parking problems, where if you don't have enough room in your driveway, you park on the street, or worse, you park on the lawn. In my neighborhood down the block and around the corner, there's a neighbor who has an RV who every once in a while parks the RV on the street. Which
is it PC to do the old Jeff Foxworthy joke there?
What if you might
be a redneck?
If you've got an RV in your neighborhood?
No, if you mow your lawn and you find a car.
Yes. Also, leaving trash out. The same thing where I try to get my trash bins in the same day. Some people leave them out for a long period of time. Greg, this one might ring true to at least you. Controversial colors of your home, painting them. Now, Greg just this time. He's neutral now, but his previous house, it was a brighter turquoise.
Wait, now there was a teal. Now there's a new one in the neighborhood. It is gorgeous. Okay, yeah. But it's purple, and the test color for the doors, sunshine yellow.
Oh, I saw the purple. It's a deep purple now, right?
It's a deep, and I'll tell you what. When the sun hits it, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The yellow door, I don't know. I don't know what they're going for. But listen, whatever.
Finally, disrespecting boundaries. If you are over here, your property line with a variety of things. Could be anything, but certainly respect boundaries. So those are some of the things that are annoying.
Or call
neighbors.
Chuck because you might have an easement problem.
You could. This one goes to both Chuck and to Brad. Bill's selling his home and just had a bad home inspection, including a bad roof inspection. What are the options besides paying for a new roof or doing all the repairs?
So wait, is it a bad home inspection, or is it the home inspection just came back bad because there's a lot of stuff going on?
It's a home inspection that came back bad.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So,
okay.
So let's start with, he agreed to do everything in this home repair request. So let's start legally. Chuck, he's agreed. He can't back out of this since he's agreed to the repair request, not realizing that the roof request for repairs would indicate a full replacement of the roof. Thoughts on that?
So he's agreed to do all of that?
Apparently the request came in saying that the seller would make repairs to the roof. The roofer comes out, and he's had two people come out. This is a long email. The roofer comes out. Two of them say that can't be repaired. It needs to be replaced. Is he locked in at this point to replacing the roof, which is rather more than he budgeted for, or can he still just have patches and live up to what he thought was his agreement?
We're looking at this from a seller's side.
Yeah.
If the request was repair the roof,
yep,
and that's all it is, it doesn't define what repair means, then repair the roof is as long as that's a reasonable response. Putting up 20 different colors of shingles, etc. That would not be necessarily considered reasonable. But if it is possible to repair the roof, he didn't say how he wanted it repaired.
The buyer did.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
If the buyer said, I want it repaired to this standard, well, then you got to stick to the standard if he says yes. Does he have to replace the entire roof? If that is a reasonable definition of repair, but it's not to the sole discretion of the buyer.
I got it. Now, I got to believe the two roofing companies he had out were fairly reputable, and they didn't want to just do repairs.
And it may be that replacing it is the reasonable way to handle it. Because like I said, you can't just go up and, say, spray all that, what was it called? Seal stuff?
Yeah.
That stuff. Say, whoops, it's repaired.
Brad won't say it. Yeah.
It's repaired for the next 3 days.
Brad, I gotta believe that there are roofers out there who would just come out and do repairs and not try to sell a whole roof, right?
No question. And I think that the biggest thing here is we're talking about the function of the roof. And the function of the roof, the home inspector is going to remark on what are the materials, where are they in the life of it. Yep. And look, we see repairs that need to be made all the time, but it doesn't mean that you have to have a new roof every single time. If you've got damaged shingles, if you got lifted edges, if you got nail pops, those things can be repaired by professionals. But I will say that a lot of roofing companies, they're going to make more money selling the roof than they are making the repairs. So the companies that just make repairs are harder to come by. Fortunately, if anybody needs to know those roofing companies that will make repairs, call my office. I'm happy to, give you some names. But I would definitely say you need a third opinion on that one.
It's the old chestnut of, okay, you want me to repair the toilet. Do I have to repair it with a gold-plated toilet?
Right. Yeah. And this goes back to having a good agent.
A good agent. That's right.
It keeps coming through.
It does.
Themes. A lot of people go for sale by owner right now, and that's fine and great. Test the market, but you're going to run into these issues constantly. And if you don't know how to get around them, this laissez-faire. And some agents, and I say good agents, we go from the spectrum of for sale by owner to a good agent because there are some bad agents out there that don't do their due diligence, and they're not specific. Whenever we get a request that says, "Oh, kind of fix this," and get specific. We're going to volley that back to you. Cross your T's and dot your I's.
And Greg, one quick point to that. And the home inspector is not the one who's negotiating those repairs for you. Right. So those for sale by owner folks that want the home inspector to negotiate with the seller, that's not what we do. So get yourself a good agent.
Good point. We're out of time. My thanks to Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service at 844-411 team. My son Gregor does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And of course, you can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime at 376-5483. If you want to see what sellers are talking about when they talk about us, go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com and read our reviews. Go to LouisvilleZillow.com. We are out of time, folks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to us. We'll see you next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS. All right. Did we do it?
Yes.
Did I say my phone number 376-5483?
I believe so. I mean,
Good.
we hear it the same every time you say it.
No, if not, I can always just edit it in. Reach me at 376-5483. And now I can just cut that out and put it in when I do the post on
just
the show.
in case.
Right.
Just in case. All right. Well, next week we will continue our journey. I'm trying to figure out the following week I'm in out of town. You know where I am. Whether to do the show from down there with Lee and Randy or pre-tape it next week. And I probably want to try to just do it next.
Pre-tape.
Do it. Yeah, but I was it'd be kind of cool, just doing it with the background of the. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, I got to get.
Go.
See y'all later.
Thank you, gang. See you next week.
All right, y'all.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Yep. Bye.